Witness the harsh, catastrophic power of a dormant volcano. Do you know what a volcano is? A volcano is an opening in the Earth's crust through which hot lava, gases, and ash escape to the surface. It usually looks like a mountain or hill because layers of rock and ash accumulate from eruptions. Eruptions can be very powerful, with lava and debris flying at high speeds. How volcanoes work. Preparation for eruption. Hot gases and molten rock, magma, accumulate under high pressure inside the Earth. Eruption. When the pressure becomes too great, a powerful explosion occurs. Magma, ash. Rocks and gases are ejected through the top of the volcano or cracks in its sides. What happens after an eruption? Magma that reaches the surface becomes lava. Its flows can destroy everything in their path. But over time it cools and turns into new rock. Types of volcanoes. Active, these erupt regularly. Dormant, these are not currently erupting, but may become active in the future. Extinct, these are believed to never erupt again. Examples of volcanoes. Mauna Loa, one of the largest volcanoes in Hawaii. Kamchatka volcanoes. Kamchatka is a place with a large number of volcanoes, many of which are located on the Pacific Ring of Fire. I think that a volcanic eruption is one of the most extraordinary events that a person can witness, and it makes them realize how powerful nature really is and how weak humans are, compared to the relentless forces of the elements. How does a volcanic eruption happen? The process itself can take several days or even weeks. It all starts with a deafening noise, and an inexperienced person may mistake it for the beginning of an earthquake. Then the volcano begins to throw huge piles of dust and ash. It is also worth noting that a fairly long period of time may pass between these two stages. And finally, at the very end, a hot avalanche begins to emerge from the volcano. This substance is so hot that it instantly burns everything in its path. And for someone who gets too close, the experience can be fatal. The lava that is erupted by a volcano rises from the depths of the earth. What if a person could wear a special suit that would help them survive in such high temperatures and go inside a volcano? I think this would be a real journey to the center of the earth. I've heard that there is a severe shortage of fuel on Earth. If people could harness the energy of an active volcano, this problem would be solved. There are various forms of life in almost every corner of the globe. Is there life inside a volcano? It turns out that yes, life does exist inside volcanoes, but this does not apply to lava flows, which are deadly to most organisms. Instead, it refers to microorganisms that can survive in extreme conditions, such as hot magma, as well as aquatic organisms that inhabit underwater volcanoes. Microorganisms in the depths of volcanoes. There may be microorganisms that can withstand high temperatures. Some of them can survive even at temperatures of about /800 degrees C, which indicates their resistance to extreme conditions. Marine life has been found in the vents of underwater volcanoes, such as the Kawachi volcano, where entire ecosystems have been discovered. Scientists have observed sharks, rays, jellyfish, and other fish that have somehow adapted to living in highly acidic and hot environments. The question arises, why live near an active volcano when you may have to leave your home in an instant? Navigating through ash and toxic fumes? The volcanic environment is the foundation of life for the surrounding communities. The geothermal energy of a volcano can power technological systems. The soil near active volcanoes is often rich in mineral deposits and provides excellent opportunities for agriculture. Volcanoes attract tourists, which creates jobs in hotels, restaurants, and souvenir shops. Finally, some people simply do not have the financial resources to relocate. In addition to cultural and religious reasons, many residents of the areas around Kilauea justify the risks by the beauty and remoteness of the region. Hawaiian volcanoes usually give advance warning when something big is about to happen. Small earthquakes, an increase in lava at the top, and changes in the volcano's slope in recent weeks all indicated an impending eruption. However, in other parts of the world, earthquakes, tornadoes, fires, and floods can occur without warning. The evacuation of nearby communities due to the eruption of Kilauea is not the only recent incident of its kind. When the Mayon volcano in the Philippines began spewing ash in January, tens of thousands of people were evacuated. In November, when the Indonesian volcano Agung erupted, more than 100,000 people were evacuated in northeastern Bali. Why do volcanic eruptions have a dangerous impact on human health? Volcanoes pose a threat to almost 500 million people, and there are approximately 500 active volcanoes on Earth today, with 10 to 40 volcanic eruptions occurring annually. Volcanic eruptions have a dangerous impact on the environment, climate, and the health of those affected, and are associated with the deterioration of socioeconomic conditions. Along with magma and steam, H2O, the following gases are released into the environment: carbon dioxide, CO2, sulfur dioxide, SO2, carbon monoxide, CO, hydrogen sulfide, H2S, carbon disulfide, CS, carbon monoxide, CS2, hydrogen chloride, HCl, hydrogen, H2, methane, CH4, hydrogen fluoride, HF, hydrogen bromide, HBr, and various organic compounds, as well as heavy metals, mercury, lead, and gold. Their adverse effects depend on the distance from the volcano, the viscosity of the magma, and the concentration of gases. Hazards closer to the volcano include pyroclastic flows, mud, gas, and steam flows, earthquakes, wind gusts, and tsunamis. Hazards in remote areas include the effects of toxic volcanic ash and respiratory problems with transportation and communication, problems with waste disposal and water supply, building collapses, and power outages. Further consequences include water quality degradation, reduced rainfall, crop damage, and vegetation destruction. During and immediately after volcanic eruptions, there has been an increase in respiratory diseases and deaths among those affected. However, these adverse health effects can be partially prevented through timely implementation of safety measures. What makes a volcano deadly? All volcanoes are different, and their potential destructive power depends on many factors: the history of a particular volcano's eruptions, the type of magma it contains, the type of volcano itself, and the number of people living in its immediate vicinity. Is it possible to predict the next major eruption? The scale of an eruption is difficult to predict. Signs of an impending eruption may include a series of earthquakes, gas emissions into the atmosphere, and the appearance of swellings on the surface of the volcano, as the lava beneath the surface moves towards the surface and pushes the rock layers upward and to the sides. Which volcano poses the greatest threat? It is difficult to classify volcanoes. For example, until recently, Kilauea volcano in Hawaii was considered the most active volcano in the world, but not the most dangerous. The Tiamu Massif, an extinct underwater volcano in the northwestern Pacific Ocean, is considered the largest volcano in the world, with a size comparable to that of the British Isles. However, it poses a low risk to humans due to its location at the bottom of the ocean, 1,600 kilometers east of Japan. Many large-scale eruptions in the past occurred in remote locations and, therefore, did not pose an immediate threat to people. This is what volcanologists are monitoring: the history of volcanic eruptions. The history of volcanic eruptions can be many millennia, based on data from past eruptions. It is impossible to accurately predict how a volcano will behave in the future, but historical data provides insight into how it typically erupts. What else are volcanoes deadly? Eruptions can be life-threatening, and it's not just about how to escape a stream of hot lava. About 600 million people live near active volcanoes that can become deadly. However, the risk to humans is relatively low, with an average of only 900 deaths per year due to volcanic eruptions over the past 40 years. But if you find yourself near an erupting volcano, the consequences can be unpredictable and quite possibly fatal, and not many people die in lava flows. Lava moves relatively slowly, and often people can escape it. However, there are other deadly dangers. Mudslides.it is not so much the eruption of a volcano that is deadly to humans, but the consequences of that eruption. In 1985, the eruption of the Nevado del Ruiz volcano in Colombia began, which released a lot of pyroclasts, rock debris. As a result, tons of snow and ice melted on the volcano's slopes, leading to a series of mud flows, a mixture of water, ice, pumice, and rocks. These flows overflowed local rivers and flooded nearby settlements. resulting in the deaths of approximately 24,000 people.